Hello, everyone. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I am back just to share a little bit about a recent in person doll friend meetup that a friend of mine hosted for our fairly new Central Ohio American Girl Doll Club. So, quick recap for anybody who is newer to my channel. I live in the Columbus, Ohio area. Our Columbus American Girl store closed in February. Shortly before that, my wife and I hosted a meetup at the store, and we were having a slumber party with some friends over, some fellow doll collectors the night before, and we were all talking about how we want to do something to make sure that people in the area who don't have the store as kind of their main thing to go to that's doll related can find a way to connect with each other and possibly continue to do some in-person meetups. So the night before the meetup, my wife set up a Facebook group and printed out some little slips that strips of paper that we cut with the Facebook information on it. And we passed them out at the event in the store. And this little group was born, and it stays a little group, which is fine by us. It grew quite a bit at the very beginning and then has been just one or two people a week or one a week. So if you know people who are in the Central Ohio area and are into American Girls and they're not in this group, you can suggest that they join. But our goal is to do probably, I would say, one in-person meetup per season, or at least that seems to be what we're off to. So started the group in February. Store closed at the end of February, and then after that in March we had our first meetup. And here's a group picture from that. It's not showing everyone who attended, but just to give you a sense of some of the people that were there. I did do a recap of that event, so if you want to see that, I can link it at the end of this video and or in the description. And then the next one, so Grace and I organized that one, and my wife, for those of you who've never watched my channel. And then our friend Kirsten organized the next one, and that was just this past weekend. I don't know when you're going to see this, but anyway, it was toward the end of July. And also an outdoor, I mean, you're talking spring and summer, so why wouldn't we do outdoor things, right? Outdoors at a park. And this one, she actually reserved a shelter. Again, 15 people attended. So let me tell you the gist of the important things that I think you should do if you're wanting to host an event like this. First, connect with some people locally. You can do this through Facebook groups. You can do this in so many different social media avenues. Try to find the people, get them together. And then an outdoor place is nice, especially if there aren't stairs or, if it is ramp accessible, just because you don't know who might want to attend and you want to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. And something that doesn't involve a whole lot of hiking or, just keeping people's mobility needs in mind. So something that you can basically drive up to, get out, and boom, you're there is nice. Having something that offers shade. So you've got some protection if it rains or some shade so that you can get better pictures of your dolls without all the harsh glares of the sun. And our first one, we provided no food. We just got together and had a good time. And the second one, that was a cookout, and there were some extra tables at the shelter, and some people even brought items to swap or sell or give away that were doll related. And I'll touch more on that later. But I think that's going to become maybe a common theme of these is that won't be the focus of the event. But if you want to, since you're going to be meeting with local people, if you want to bring a couple things that you're looking to sell, trade, or just get rid of, you can bring them and set them up. And we still do name tags, even though we're getting to the point. It seems like some people are kind of repeat participants, but I think it's always nice that way. If there is someone new, they don't feel awkward not knowing people's names and they don't feel like an outsider. So we do name tags every single time and just promote it and show up. Tell people to bring a doll or two or however many they want to. They can, give them a little bit of a theme. This was a cookout and it was summertime and people just went with that. And the nice thing that happens is some of us have large collections with lots of accessories and props and things like that. And we're happy to bring them. And some people either have smaller collections or they have a lot of dolls, but not a lot of the props and things. So there's no pressure for anybody. The people that have a lot and want to bring a lot of those props do, and the other people are welcome to use them. It's not unwieldy. Again, about 15 people both times that we've done it, which is a great number. It's enough that it feels like fun and you get to meet people, and it's a good number, but it's not so crazy that you're worried about your items disappearing or not being able to keep track of things. And we just kind of set up different scenes. So I'm going to be showing you pictures so you can get a sense of what different scenes were set up. All right. So one nice thing is that each person would bring some things and set these different scenes up. Like we brought a grill, a picnic table, and a bunch of stuff to put on the table. And then somebody else showed up and they were like, "Do you want to borrow anything from this bag?" And I'm like, "Ooh, this galvanized steel like drink cooler." Oh, and then somebody else brought over their little miniature Coca-Cola bottles. And I was like, "Oh, put those on the picnic table. Just everybody come back at the end and make sure you take back the things that you brought." And it worked out really well. And it's nice because you end up with like, five or six different scenes kind of all around the area. And if you maybe you're the kind of person who runs out of steam and or you're going through like a motivation slump in terms of doll photography, it's all done for you. You just show up and take your doll to station one and then kind of take some pictures and move on to station two. And other people are there and they can give you tips, or you can kind of copy the setups that they're doing. And it's just, yeah, it is so accessible, I think. So lots of good pictures here. Another thing I like is people would come up and you've already got your little grouping going, and somebody would say, "Oh, can my doll join in?" You're like, "Yeah, sure. The more the merrier." And so somebody else, pops up to the table or grabs a plate and asks Luca for some burgers. Just lovely, like a lovely community. So that's the picnic and grill scene. And then if you didn't want any props and just wanted to enjoy the nature, this place was like a field with a picnic shelter, tables, and the grill, but there were a lot of trees around the perimeter. So if you walk to the edge of it, you could get these kinds of shots. And I like to imagine that Karma here is just sitting, having some quiet time, and then hears something, and she's like, "What's going on?" And she takes a walk, and she's looking around, and then up pops Lila. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, friend, you startled me. I thought you were still over there." And then they start walking back together. And then they run into a friend who takes a picture for them. I don't know. You just let your mind wander. Maybe they were playing hide and seek. I don't know. And then our friend Emma set this scene up. So she said, I had it in my mind that I was going to do like a more traditional picnic, like we ended up doing with the grill and the picnic table and everything. And she said, and then I was like, or I could do like a more, you know, Pinteresty aesthetic, like lovely spread, more posh foods. Kind of, she didn't say that, but like a more decadent, beautiful, visually pleasing picnic. And I was like, "Oh, yes, please do that." And, I mean, she had already decided it, but I was just like, yes, that's great that she took a different approach because it made for a completely different scene for everybody to use in their photos. So as you're seeing here, like things were just lovely. So much thought and so much detail went into it. And then you could just plunk your dolls down in the middle of the scene, let them join the fun. There were like extra chairs kind of saying, "Come on over." And then most of these are Emma's dolls. These are my pictures, but I'm going to put her handle on Instagram because I know she's going to be posting a lot more of her pictures soon. And then our friend Mel brought Nanea and this Nanea set. I forget the name of it, but like Um, and it was kind of nice because you could either have your dolls, most of the dolls were not dressed in Hawaiian, performance clothing. So you could have them sitting and watching, like they're watching a hula dance, or you could have them take their picture with her. Um, I just had Ty be a bit of a spectator, and then I took pictures from the opposite side of the table to show Ty at the table. That was a lot of fun. Mel also woke up that morning and decided, I want the dolls to have a sack race. And so, like, just whipped together these little sacks and said, I was just winging it and trying to hurry up. And she messaged us right before we got in the car and said, can you grab some ribbon to make the finishing lines? We grabbed some ribbon, and look how cute this turned out. This is so simple. I mean, getting the dolls to stand up in sacks, not so simple. Like, not at all. But it was a joint effort. There were probably like 5 people around, and so many of us that people were saying, "Just take a lot of pictures," or, "Here, let me hand you my phone. Take some pictures from that angle while you're down there." And it was like beautiful chaos with the dolls and with those of us trying to snap their pictures really quickly. I love it. Absolutely love it. Here's some more just nature pictures. A little bit of a fence, a little bit of wildflowers. I think Grace took these. So if you want to check out more pictures that she'll be posting, her Instagram is on the screen. And then our friend Kirsten brought a tent, an older tent. She brought one of these collapsible chairs, or I forget what you call them. You know what, the camper chairs. And somebody else, Emma, brought the other one. And that is, it's like this person's tent and this person's chairs, and this person threw the backpacks in, and this person brought one of their dolls over, and somebody else brought a different doll. This is our friend Robin's doll, and I posed him in there so he looks like he's popping up out of the tent. Yeah. Somebody else, I think, somebody named Claire brought her doll over and said, plopped her down. We plopped her down next to Karma. Yeah, it was so fun. There's like 4 different people's dolls represented in this scene, and I just feel like what happens with the photos kind of represents perfectly what we want to have happen with this group. Like, everybody just chip in, have fun. The more the merrier. Pull up a seat. It'll work. And then Mel brought this tiny little, I don't even know, is this in our generation? I think it's our generation. Horseshoe thing, set. And it was so simple and took up like no space, but the pictures turned out great. And it was so cool to be able to go over and take your doll's pictures in the sand playing horseshoes. There was a child who was there to play with my child. And so Georgia, I believe, took this picture. I think the girls took several pictures. Georgia took more of them. And then her mom took several. I'm putting her Instagram handle on here. They brought Felicity, Leah, and Caroline. And it was nice, since Leah had on a more modern dress, she was able to join the campers. But the other girls, the historical girls, just looked perfect out in nature, of course, and also in Emma's like kind of swanky, more upscale picnic, more elevated taste picnic. And then, of course, Leah could join either one. Her outfit worked for pretty much any scene that was there. Again, more nature pictures of Kirsten's dolls. Be sure to check out all these people's Instagram accounts if you haven't yet. Like I said, if you are in the area at all and would like to attend any of our events, right now we're just aiming one every season, so it's pretty manageable. You're welcome to join. Patsy, and I've got her account information on here, was thoroughly enjoying all the different scenes. I know her dolls took pictures at the swanky picnic, at the more campsite kind of picnic, at the tent camping, you name it. Patsy got pictures of her dolls in all the different places. And her dolls made friends with everybody. They just joined all the different friend groups. And then I mentioned that there was kind of a swap meet element that some people brought things, 2 people, and I think that might grow as people found it to be successful and fun. People might just bring their stuff to sell, trade, or get rid of. And we got a few things. I think everything on here was just on the help yourself pile. And that little Home Depot apron, I'm going to turn into, it's perfect size for Welly. I just needed to take the neck part off and replace it with a snap closure and put some elastic around the waist. And they'll be good to go. I already put it on Ashlyn and it fits perfectly. And then these are some things that, a combination of things that I bought and things that we just got from the freebie table. Same thing here. I can't speak for Grace, but I spent $25 because I did get Joss's cheer outfit and this infinity backpack with all the things that were in it that are off to the right-hand side. I paid for those, and the skates and the skirt, I believe, were the things that I bought. But yeah, spent like $25. It was so fun. And here are some things that we're thinking of for future meetups. So an outdoor movie night where we project one of the American Girl movies onto, a portable screen or the side of a building or something like that. A Halloween or fall event with a pumpkin patch and trick-or-treating for the adults and for the dolls. Maybe a little craft where they make like a small candy, or they make a trick-or-treat bag, and a costume contest, of course. January is dress like an AG day, and I was thinking we could do some kind of group event, maybe a Valentine's Day party or a card exchange for the dolls and the adults. Some kind of game day where we just get together and play different American Girl games. I think it would be fun to do a cooking class and do like things from the American Girl doll or from the American Girls cookbooks. I don't know. So many possibilities. And here's the group again. Like I said, I think that this is doable for a lot of people. I think that what it is teaching me every time we do some kind of gathering in Central Ohio is it doesn't take as many resources as you might think. You can make it that way, but you can also make it really, really low key, and just keep accessibility in mind, keep people's comfort in mind, look for places where as people are getting to know each other, it's more outdoors, um, good weather, enough space that people can kind of retreat and go off and do things on their own if they're getting a little overstimulated. And then as you build up some trust and connection with each other, then probably your possibilities open up a bit more. So that's all. I would love to see what you think. And if you have any fun ideas for things we could do in the future, drop them below. I hope you're doing well. I hope you do something fun with your dolls, whether it's with IRL doll friends or not. Just enjoy them today. Thanks. Bye.